stasera ospite speciale a Win the Game of Life, Alessandro, detto Sandro, welcome, Sandro. You are
Hi, Luigino.
tonight. Ciao, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much. How about you? How is it going, Luigino?
Super amazing. You already have some good friends that say hello to you. Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love all my friends, and I'm so grateful for everything. So, as mentioned before, unconditional love and having gratitude are two fundamental things in life. And
great.
everybody.
Yes, I know you, and you are very, what I can say, a special person that you like. You like to be close to your friend. You are very social, full of energy, and really, I appreciate your attitude, your character, your attitude. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
But you was always like this, or can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? About the story, or little story of your life, and if you was always like this.
Being open-hearted with people, always. As in, I always wanted to connect with people, talk with them, be active with them as well. And it is always something which is grand. I mean, through life, of course, I wasn't this extroverted. There was a part where I was also introverted and everything, but that's a phase we go through. I mean, growing up, being with people, being with the international community, you learned that there's no such thing as barriers or walls. The walls we create ourselves, and it was great. So from my childhood of being in international school, I learned how to talk with people, how to be with people, how not to discriminate, but be in that great form of life. And of course, growing up, you realize and see how everything also resonates with you. People with the same vibes, you attract them, and there's no barriers. I mean, I don't have expectancies, or I don't expect in return from other people anything. I said, I'm myself, I get myself, and that's it. So, yeah.
You like child. You like child. You teach, no? You teach English.
Yes. I currently teach children English, and before that too, when I did martial arts, Aikido, I was dealing with a lot of children. So imagine in a camp of 300 children, which is amazing. Wow. I mean, the energy which the kids give is just amazing. I mean, fundamentally crazy too, because you get to relive also part of your childhood. So I was always there with them. They know me as the drill instructor, or the drill sergeant in one way. But in the other, I was the biggest kid with them as well, because we used to also play around. And even with the older kids, like the last night of the camp, they're like, can we go to the lake and look around and just enjoy the night out? I'm like, sure, I'll be your chaperone. We go out, my rules, but enjoy. And that's it. So giving that form of that real love that kids should have is something amazing, to believe in them and to have them spread their wings. I mean, that is why I also love working with kids, is because you get to see their potential. You get to see that they're growing. And it's so good to also help them fulfill their love and fulfill their path of dreams, and not to be hindered. And children are at a critical stage of either going for their dream or not. And that's why I love as well now working with kids, is because I can contribute to that, but also with adults.
Yes, it's very important. It's a big responsibility, especially in the first 7 years of when of the life of the child is a period when the child start to acquire a lot of information, and they
absolutely
subconscious.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And yes, close to you, I think that they create a good mindset of positivity, I think.
I hope so.
But you was always like this. Can you tell us a little bit about your story of the past?
The past. The past is something heavy, because some people are interested to knowing the past. Some people want to know it more in detail. And when I start talking about the past, I always try to keep it a little bit on the low key, because it can be really heavy. Putting it and trying to condense it is that coming from a family where I had it all as a kid, and then growing up having lost it all. And going through that experience of change, so from safety to really rock bottom, and then getting out and moving up and believing in yourself was the main key which kept me going. And I was always like this, even in the phase when hitting rock bottom and seeing that things are tough, really, really, really tough. And by rock bottom, I mean really rock bottom. So
but in that time, your passion when you were a child, which kind of passion you had? Your, let's say, moment when of the day that was for you the magic moment?
I had a lot. As a kid, I could tell you I had a lot. One of my passions, of course, is cooking, because I love cooking. It's a way of communicating, and it's a way of really transmitting love. That was one of my biggest passions. The passion was also playing with kids, being together with them, and imagining things, and going and then really realizing them. So for me, I had those dreams, and I still venture forward with that. So yeah,
it means that this is also actually you have this passion, no? You like to cook for friends.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, imagine this. Whenever I go to my friend's place or whatever, I get invited, I go in, I'm like, so, you guys hungry? Should I make something? Let me do something. Let me look what's in the kitchen or what's in your fridge. And I open it up. Okay, who wants to eat what? And there were cases where I made 4 different plates at once because everybody wanted something different. I'm like, sure, why not? It's fun. Or challenges. I mean, challenges when it comes to food, that is something which is fun, because you have to be really creative. Think outside the box.
But do you had some, let's say, chef that teach you, or somebody that support you in this area, in this experience?
Well, friends as chefs, there were a couple chefs, yes. What I could say with experience is family recipes and practicing and having the passion itself. Cookbooks, I used to look and read a couple of cookbooks, which people say cookbooks are cookbooks, and they're like a roadmap. I'm like, yes, they are like a roadmap, sure. But it doesn't mean you have to follow that roadmap. You have to twink. You have to really find a way to create your own recipe or create your own direction. So looking at YouTube videos as well. I mean, I for example love Ramsey a lot, the way he cooks and he prepares stuff, because it's straight to the point and what he transmits with it. Even though he does sometimes show some arrogance, it's because simple. When you prepare something, you either prepare it to the fullest or don't prepare it at all. And that's something which really goes in heart, is that it has to go with passion. Everything you do in life has to connect, because if you have that connection, which is your soul and your heart itself, at that point, you transmit.
Yeah. Do you have some story to tell us about something that happened to you that in this area, in this cooking area, that give you some very huge emotion and pleasure, and you was super happy? Something happened that something that you remember that was an amazing moment that is there, your memory, you know, that.
With cooking, yeah, I have quite a lot. I had quite. Oh boy, so many memories are just coming back. So it's hard, because memories with cooking, it's always creating a surprise. When it comes to birthday parties, preparing a cake, or having dinners with friends, and then just thinking of something to do, or even in the past, small things, or cooking with a lot of people. It's so relative. I mean, I have so many memories. I can't take one and say that was the best at all.
Not the best, but something maybe strange, you know, that something happened, you know, that you have a story that is very curious story to tell to our, let's say, visitor now, or guesting online. If you have something, you know, maybe also can be some, you know, some mistakes. It can be also that, wow, come on.
Mistakes. Okay. For example, there was a time I was preparing a cake for a friend, right?
Yes.
And I prepared it. I spent so many hours and whatever. It was done. It was really perfect.
Yes.
The moment I tried to take it out of the tray, it fell, it broke.
No.
And, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, fine. I still have 2 hours. Well, let's make it possible. And I did. So I created another one right away, off the bat. Different flavor, different style, but it was done. Improvising. So really going in that.
Means that there is some connection in, you just told that this guy to transform the impossible.
Yes.
There is some connection with mindset, with how you believe, how you understand reality, something connected with awareness. What is for you this transformation from the impossible to possible, this action of creation? What means for you, for example?
Well, actually, it happened since I was a kid, just remembering back and talking about it. I mean, for me, the impossible doesn't exist. As in, sure, it's like you're not going to grow an arm back or something. Sure, that's a physical part. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't limit yourself, and by not limiting yourself is the fact which is very important. Believing that you're able to do it, no matter what the odds. You have to believe in yourself. You have to give it your best, and you have to be in that flow, that transitional flow of love within yourself. Because sure, you get an adrenaline kick, but that connectivity of manifesting it or making it possible is very important. You feel it. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't, then it becomes something, well, you won't be able to do it. And I don't know if I explain myself quite well in this case, but seriously, you don't stop. You shouldn't never stop, no matter what the odds.
But what do you think? This attitude is something that you can train, something that, or is something to burn with this? What do you think?
It's both things. It depends where you came from, what experiences in life you had, what hardships, what, how should I put it, obstacles that you had to really overcome. And also about the mindset. Give up, or are you going to go forward? Are you able to go forward? One of my favorite philosophers as well, Hungarian, his name is Purposeful. He said that if you want to become a boxer, and if you're going to be a boxer, then you have to understand the fact that the moment you're going to go into the ring, you can be hit, you can knock the opponent down, but you'll be knocked down sooner or later. When you're knocked down, you see everything in a different viewpoint. And you have to take the responsibility of that, of either getting up or staying there. But you have to understand the fact that you're going in that ring. You're going in there. And that's the thing which is important, is to understand that this is our life. Yes. We are living our moment. And it's our responsibility of understanding that, okay, what are our limits? Are we going to overcome our limits, which is our own obstacle of hindrance, if we want to put it that way? Or do we still?
Yeah, it's a very strong word, responsibility.
Absolutely.
What do you think? Today is a common approach of people taking responsibility of inside and, responsibility of your thought, of your reaction at the stimulus, and also of your action, that taking responsibility of what you do. What do you think? Today is common that there is it's difficult.
So relative. I mean, the reason why I'm saying it's relative is because of how well do we know ourselves. That's number one. Number two, responsibility means also having the right mindset, having really the integrity one has to have. And for me, one of my favorite words is definitely the word integrity, because it's a form of respect. It's a form of respecting yourself and the world around you. Responsibility in our actions and the consequences which happen is through our own choices. Being responsible enough to confront with it and say, yes, I looked at it this way. I did it. It did not occur as I wanted it, but I did it, and I take full responsibility of it, rather than blaming somebody else. And what I also notice is that we are the creators of our world. We decide who is around us. We decide how we connect with others. We are the ones who decide what we want to do, what we want to choose, what path we want to go down to. And responsibility, it's a fun word because there are some people who do take responsibility, some don't. And it all depends on their level of awareness. Do they want to or do they not? Is it comfortable for them or is it not? In some cases.
Yes, it's for sure. Maybe responsibility and fear are connected, no? Because probably people think, or in general, would think that we who don't want to take responsibility maybe is afraid of something. You know, means that maybe there is this connection, no? To be afraid of something, and this reason why you try to put away. You know, you need. No, it's not my fault. You know, and this is the consequences of something that maybe my education, maybe my part, society, the politics, you know, always outside, you know, and that we don't, maybe we don't realize that the responsibility is the way that permit us to become adults.
Absolutely. I mean, when we look at it in a whole, the one thing which I really think is important is that we shouldn't use excuses. I mean, people do use excuses because it's easy, it's a scapegoat and everything else, but we are the ones who create. And because we are the ones who create, we are the ones responsible for it in any case. So if we think of it in a way of using excuses that it wasn't my fault, it was because of this, it was because of that, it was because of this, it was because of that, sure, it's no problem at all. But what people forget is that when we look ourselves in the mirror, when we have to see what's in the mirror, that is us. As I said before, Alan Watts also said that it's easy to look through our eyes because our eyes are in our head to look out. That's why it's easy to give excuses because of this, because of that, because of that. However, it does take training and it does take time to be able to self-reflect. Situations occur for us to evolve, to notice it. And being able to see that and being able to reflect on that is one of the key points where we can, as you said, become adults or take control of our life and understand that by doing this, we're able to go from point A to point B. Now, just the fact of sticking with excuses, this is not that, forget it. It will not help us develop. It will be just one thing which will just keep us at one level. We will not be able to grow. And the fact of self-confrontation is one of those facts that is scary. I mean, many people are afraid to see their own mistakes, to admit their own mistakes. Not to mention, depends when that happens. Does it happen when they're 20 years old? Does it happen when they're 30 years old, 40, 50, 60, 70? Because at any given moment, the more time passes, the harder it can be to realize that. Because of self-reflection of the past, which will be like a backpack or a burden in that case.
Good. You have a good mind, and
I hope.
No, but I think that this comes from a lot of experience in your life that let you, what I can say, challenge you, and of course you was able to look yourself inside. But in this way, for sure, we increase our self-love. What do you think? Absolutely. We create that, and it does take time. It does take some challenges. It does take obstacles. It does take some hardships too, because we realize that sometimes something's not working right. We don't understand why. We try to find the external result or the external excuses or the external effects that happen, but actually, no. Actually, it is us who create that resonance. Well, we know that you are a good chef.
Thank you.
Teacher of for child, and but during your, let's say, day, your scheduling of the day, do you have some special, let's say, protocol, procedure, something that permit you to grow, to be more time is possible, more connected with your higher self? Do you do something?
Well, usually what's important for me is to have a flow, basically to get my mind going. That is, in many cases, people, what I notice is there's too much noise in one's head. And I wouldn't lie in the fact that it's normal, because noise would be thoughts of the past that can haunt you, thoughts of the future, which does not exist. However, it's a form of projection of finding your goal, visualizing and seeing it. However, sometimes we find ourselves in the trap of being here, but living in either the past or in a future that doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So to somehow balance that out, to make it into a form of equilibrium, it needs to just disconnect and be in one point. This can go from training, when you work out, which I usually do with my own body weight, to also meditation, which is something very important that one can also learn through martial arts or anything else. It's just to be and to let go, and to really just let go of the pressure and everything else.
That's good.
Another routine which I have is creativity, which is cooking and food, or being with friends and enjoying the moment.
Yes, it's good. You are creative, you express your talent and passion in this way, and more you express this, you can feel more connected. It's
absolutely, because you feel success, you feel that you created something, you made something, and that is always great. Some people find it through different spheres: art, music, writing, reading, in anything. What's important is, what I found is that connection, which is important, that one finds that, which is fulfilling to their soul and their heart and everything.
About reading books, do you have some favorite authors, or do you have some?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not a big reader. So people always are surprised that you don't read that many books. I'm like, no, I don't read. I read very rarely. I read some articles. I listen more to audio tapes, or even to what I did also with Alan Watts. I listened to all his lessons, which was really interesting, or watch little discussions with on YouTube, past presentations to philosophers, mindset, because those are interesting topics which discover the love for knowledge. Of course, translating the word philosophy. And speaking of books, I also read your book, which was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. So congratulations on it, because it is really, really, really nice. Hitting different topics and everything, and it's really intriguing, because it's a really good start of getting a momentum going, and even pinpointing different aspects. So really, 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 really congrats on that, Luigi. No, it was amazing.
Much. It's the first time that somebody said that it's fun. Because normally, when reading a book is something like a challenge, you need to be deep in the thought of the author. But to have fun from the book, my books, especially, yeah, you are very special.
Thank you. That's the thing. That's the thing. Having fun. When there's a problem, when there's a situation, one thing which I learned, which I always apply, you have to have fun.
Yes.
There's no such thing as a no. You have to have fun. I mean, if you're going to face a problem, if you're going to face a scenario where you're going to go under stress and depression and all that, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
You have to have fun with it. And it's the same thing which goes with everything. I mean, with the example which I told you, in 2 hours I have to make a new cake. I'm like, shit, let's do it. What I got to lose? I already have one broken. Who cares? Let's go.
It's cool. Yes. And about, you like to be on the now, because you are Alan Watts lover, and yes, it's a very good one. It's, for me, sometimes is letter are too much complicated. Sometimes I like a lot, but sometimes really it's not easy to follow exactly on the deep. Is point of view, and yes, but in front of us there is the future, Do you have some vision? Do you have some, let's say, direction, that some challenge that you want to achieve, who you want to see in 5 years? Which Alessandro you want to see in 5 years?
Oh, I have one. Family, kid, definitely, with unconditional love. That's something which I want to see within 5 years. Easy, is to find true love and be with that all the way.
Amazing. You know, it's
that's one of the main goals, because what I strongly believe is that when you find the person who you're with and you connect, there's no such thing as impossible, because then the two people go on a journey. I'm not saying that you can only go on the journey of your life when you're with a partner. You can go on it alone, definitely. But it's a beautiful trip that somebody can share, because it becomes that. It becomes another part of life. That's something which is grand.
Means that you feel deeply the vocation to be father, a good father of the family, and to share this journey with.
That's one. Absolutely. That's one. The other is making my dreams come true. I mean, different dreams and that.
You told unconditional love. What is unconditional love for you?
Unconditional love. This is a very interesting thing, because many people believe that there's something for something in anything. So just because I give you this, I expect this in return. Why? Sure, commercial business, whatever, can occur because business is based on trade-offs or trades. Okay, fine. But when it's about being yourself and giving your sincerity out and showing who you are, why do you need that condition? Why do you need to condition it? Because at the end, you're not conditioning the other, you're conditioning yourself. You're limiting of how much you can take in. Also with trust. People say to me that I'm too trustworthy for other people. And I'm like, that's one thing. I project myself the way I am. I do give my trust out, sure. But there's one mistake somebody does, and that trust is broken. I unconditionally, how should I put it, advance it up to a certain level. Because otherwise, do I have to go into that game of maybe I give a little now, maybe I give a little later? It means that I am not confident in myself. If I'm confident in myself of who I am and what I can project outward, is something important. We're going back to responsibility. Am I responsible enough to express my emotions? Am I responsible enough to be myself with people, with strangers, of who I am? And it can be too much sometimes, because it can. Sometimes it can be too little. And it doesn't mean that I have to be in the center spotlight. No. What I'm trying to say is being yourself without expecting anything in return. Because life will have it happen. People will resonate with you.
Yeah. You had experience of unconditional love in your life. Do you have this experience?
Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I had experience of unconditional love. Yes. And it's amazing. And I still do. Towards myself, which is important. How can we love somebody else if you don't love yourself, which is very important. Yeah. If we condition our own love to ourselves, then we're going to condition everything which is in the relationship, because we'll be trying to find something which is missing in a relationship. No. You have to be in balance with yourself. Or at that moment, because people do grow. They can grow together. People cannot grow together. So it is something interesting. And unconditional love is something which can happen. It depends on two people's awareness. It depends on that. It depends also on the fact that how you realize yourself, how you really realize the fact that you don't need to go into games. You don't need to go into games of expectations. I expect something from return. If I give you my love, then I expect you to do this, 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 and this. Oh, you're not going to do it? I'm not going to love you. What's that? That has no point whatsoever. That's futile. That's playing in kindergarten. Sure, if you want to do that, go into kindergarten. But that's not unconditional love.
And imagine that one day you are a good father, no? You are there, no? In your vision, no? Imagine you are there and you have your child, and which kind of if you need to give one advice, strong advice to your child, no? Which kind of this advice the more important for his future? What do you think?
Go your own road. One thing.
Also, if collide with the idea of the father.
The thing is this: a parent, a father would always want the best for the children, according to the father's idea or the mother's idea, if we look at it that way, parent-wise. But a child cannot take the life of their parent. They cannot fulfill the life of a parent, because then, or the dreams of the parent. Because at that point, you're limiting the kid, you're limiting the child. You want the best for the child, sure. So then give them freedom. Give them freedom to do what makes them happy, what will fulfill them. Because if that freedom is taken away, years will pass, and they will not know what they want in life. They will not have goals. They will not have desires. They will have it as a kid, but during the way, it will just disappear, disintegrate, because it is not their life they want to go. It's the parents' life they want to achieve, so that they'll be loved because they'll get that expectation done, and so on and so forth. You can't. That is why, for me, it's important to tell my kids, definitely, if I have kids, or one, or any, I hope many, but is that they can go their own road. I will support them, of course, support them in giving the basics they would need to get going, to have that stability of moving forward and fulfilling that dream. Absolutely. And it can be something different from mine, but that's all right, because that's where they are.
You think that it's not an easy task, no? To be a father is not an easy task, for sure.
I don't know. I don't have kids yet, so.
Yeah.
But what I can say is just a form of imagination of what it would be to be a dad. I would say it should be something wonderful or something amazing. I mean, having kids, raising them, transmitting your knowledge, your experience to them, and
especially because you are together with a good partner, no?
Absolutely. It always comes to that. I mean, one thing for sure is that, for me, as I said, one thing which is really, really important is that marriage comes with love. And with unconditional love. If you're in a relationship which doesn't have that, okay, fine, that's different. If you're going to get married without that, it's not going to last. I mean, you may cheat, you can do this, you can do that, but that's a different story. And for me, it's fundamental that is there, that unconditional love from the beginning to the end. And even if at one point the paths may go in separate ways, because it can happen. But reflecting that time you were together, it was fulfilled. You have no excuses. You have no excuses to go left, go right, or lie, or do stuff which would degrade yourself. Because the most important thing is, and the other thing, which is the worst thing you can do, is lie to yourself. And not just in relationships. Let's put relationships aside, but about growing within yourself, of realizing what situation you are, of realizing that, taking responsibility of where you want to go. Just like a relationship is a responsibility, because you cannot waste another person's time in that sense. It takes two, of course, to play the game, let's put it that way. But it has to be in an equilibrium, in a balance of knowing it.
Yes, totally agree with you. It's a game that we play together. You know,
absolutely.
Together to put the energy in the same direction and to achieve, the best result that we can.
Absolutely.
Last question for you, because
any as you want, bombard me. I talk a lot, anyways. People say
you like to be here, not to be under bobbing with question. And maybe also you can make some kind of live interview with chef, with your amazing channel
I mean,
Alessandro.
with my Instagram channel, I mean, with my Instagram, I had a great pleasure of connecting with a lot of people around the world. I mean, really unique ones, really ones who are dear to my heart. And it was great. I mean, the beauty of it is the fact of creating that type of how should I put it, synergy, a bridge of understanding a common language. And that is beautiful. It's really transmitting that love in food. And from everybody from Los Angeles, San Francisco. So
yeah, because you have a lot of content around the world. You need to use these new tools also for you, to re-energize also the connection, for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. It's great. It is great. I get inspired by every one of them, so it's amazing.
Last question. Imagine that you have all your time that you need and all the resource that you have everything. It's something that all you have resource, time. What do you do? Which project? Which action, creation? Imagine that infinite. You have all the time that you need and all the resource.
Well, I have a couple ideas, that's for sure.
Two only.
Two only. Well, let's get.
But you are there, no? You can do everything. What you do.
One of those projects would be something which would help others. Definitely. Help others grow, help others develop.
Yes.
This is from educational wise to service wise to product wise, because I really strongly believe that giving out something positive for people, something which aids their life, which also helps them fulfill a need, a necessity in a good way, is success, because you're providing outwards. That would be one. That would be one of the things I would do, definitely. Another thing would be charity as well. It's creating something for charity. In this way, again, either educational-wise or food-wise, which also helps. Because I really believe that giving for people, or giving to people without any expectations, in that case, you're committing something. If I want to do a business where my goal is to become rich and to make as much money as I can, that's one thing. If my goal is to make something which would benefit people, benefit society, the outcome is different. Because in one outcome, you're looking at money. The other outcome is the satisfaction of fulfilling your dream. And money itself will come on its own.
Yes.
Without having the stress or the pressure on that. Those are two different things.
Means that you like to let the energy, the result, to be movement instead to be accumulated somewhere,
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
There is this approach of the mind that, we need to accumulate more and more and more, but this energy, potential energy or resource is stick there, locked there, and are not, in movement, in action to create other values, to let, this resource can be to serve the others. Yeah.
No, you have to be a movement. It's the same thing. Let me give you a quick example with that, with energy and movement and what we want to call it. You want to manifest something. You can be sitting on your couch, on your chair, out in nature, whatever, meditating that you want to reach that. Do it for a whole lifetime. You will not get there. You need to move energy, which means, okay, you can visualize it, but you have to take action with it. Just like the Italian joke, I don't know if you know it, but there's the old man who always goes to church and prays to God that he wants to win the lottery. And goes every single day. Every single day. At one point he dies, right? He goes to God and he's like, God, I was praying every single day to win the lottery. Why didn't I win it? And God looks down and says, my son, why didn't you buy the ticket?
Yeah, yes.
So, but you have to take action, and people always. And here's one more thing, and then I'll stop talking because I just talk a lot, is that when you have a goal mindset, a goal itself, people always think of the right moment to jump, the right moment to take that leap of faith from one point to another, like a frog taking a huge jump. But before we take that jump, we want to calculate, are we going to exactly land there? Is the wind right? Do I use enough force to get there? And time passes because we're thinking too much and then becoming more insecure. And actually, we are unsecuring ourselves by using the external as a form of excuse. However, instead of making one big jump, which takes time and effort and energy and a lot of fear, is to change it. Make steps, make small steps. And that will give you success right away. One success after another, after another. And then you'll see that those small steps will be faster than taking one big leap, more secure, and you'll be really running down that road without even noticing that your tempo has really accelerated because you get accustomed to it.
Yes, and also probably through this little result, also you are always you are motivated, no? Because if the jump is too big, sometimes because you don't see the result, you lose the hope and you create obstacle for yourself to continue, no? Means that little step, little goal, little result in this direction, every day, little bit out of the comfort zone, the stretch zone every day. Yes, it's true.
You need that. You need that. Otherwise, if you're going to take a big leap, you might break.
Yes. What I can say, another amazing interview with some...
Thank you, Luigino. It was great. It was a great talk.
The wise Alessandro.
Oh.
And if the people want to follow you, you continue, no, with this posting about your passion, no, about the food.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to post now because I didn't post for over a month and a half because a lot of things have been happening. However, I always take pictures of what I do because it's fun, and I will be definitely posting stuff. If I remember correctly, my last post was the meat I used for making ossobuco, but I didn't post the final result yet, which I should, but I will. And also along the way, I did many types of sweets. I experimented and did a lot too. So it's fun, but I will post some stuff and usually write down.
Because we wait, to see more active your
Instagram
profile. Oh,
absolutely.
Come on! What
Hello, ciao Alessandro.
Oh,
how are you?
Ciao.
Good. How are you, Marco? How's it going?
I'm fine. You?
I'm excellent. Thanks. I'm really great. I'm doing great.
Great. I listened to your interview. It's amazing. Your thought, your soul is great as usual. But I know you saw you're really amazing.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, Marco.
My pleasure. My pleasure to be your friend.
Oh, same here. It's an honor. I mean, I'm really grateful for the fact that life brought us all together because it is beautiful. I mean, what I always say is that life is beautiful. We have to enjoy every single moment, be in the moment, and see outside the box, as we call it, our own limitations. And meeting great people is always something grand and has such a value that you can't express it. So I really appreciate it.
Yes, guys, I tell you, really, I enjoy a lot to be, and I'm very grateful to be your friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
namaste.
Everybody, and namaste, exactly.
Okay.
Ciao, good night.
Ciao, good evening to everybody. Ciao, ciao, Luis. Ciao.